Okay, so let's look at this graph, actually, that is derived from the federal government. They actually collect statistics every year to see, which drugs are being used and who's using them, right? So this is from the National Survey on Drug Use and Health from 2007. So they tend to update their website. It takes a year or two. This was currently what I was able to pick out. If you look at this graph, this shows you how old people are and the percentage of those age ranges that are actually using illegal drugs. Okay, we'll talk about which drugs are illegal drugs. But I want you to pay attention. 12 to 13 years of age, right? Pretty small, right? 14 to 15 starts to rise. 16 to 17, significant rise. 18 to 20, it's the peak, basically, age for use of illegal substances. 21 through 25, 26 through 28, or through 29, etc. It seems to drop off then, right, as you enter middle age. And then, people who are over 65, it's a pretty small percentage. So the peak period of illicit drug use is age 16 to 25. Why? I want you to think about the various regions of the brain that we talked about earlier in this class. The frontal lobe, right, which is so important for decision making and planning behavior. The frontal lobe, which basically is going to respond to various environmental stimuli, right, with behavior and action, and it's going to be, engaged in seeking out, situations and making decisions that improve, how you feel, right, that get you into a better sort of social, social sort of a position, and avoiding those kinds of, behaviors or stimuli that actually get you into a less pleasant sort of situation. Turns out that the frontal lobe, there's a great deal of neuronal growth and activity actually in the frontal lobe during adolescence. And this is where young people are sort of figuring out what they're going to do. They're going to be exposed to all sorts of different environments, and they're going to feel good in some situations, and they're going to feel lousy in others. And their frontal lobe is going to develop based upon stimuli that associate them with better feelings, right? Feeling better, and they're going to learn to avoid situations where they feel worse. Well, it turns out that you can, for example, study, your textbook for this class. You can, watch all the video lectures in this class, right? You can complete all the assessments for this class, and after a long slog, right, through 10 weeks of course, you can actually end up with a good grade. You can get an A for the class. You'll feel terrific, right? And all of those behaviors that you engaged in, diligently following the activities in the syllabus, paying attention to all these lectures, etc., taking notes. This is something your frontal lobe notices, and the next time you encounter a situation that has similar, requirements or similar sort of environmental stimuli, these behaviors are going to be provoked because this will be rewarded in the end. Well, for a teenager, right, when this system is being developed to some extent, right, the idea of smoking something, a very simple behavior, right, or injecting something, another very simple behavior, or popping a pill, another very simple behavior, and the incredible euphoria and joy that is experienced upon initial contact with some of these drugs that we're going to be discussing. That's a very powerful lesson for the frontal lobe. I mean, basically all the stimuli that are associated with that particular simple behavior, become associated with that terrific feeling. And the frontal lobe becomes sort of organized around obtaining, more of that terrific experience. So this is probably the main reason why the peak period of illicit drug use is age 16 to 25. Drugs of abuse can potentially hijack, development of the frontal lobe during this period of adolescence.